stirring the coffee with chopsticks using big chopstick energy and the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Actually, Mexican coffee made cowboy coffee style. Man, that is good. All right, so now I'm a little confused. I had this Mexican coffee last week. Remember, I bought the 4 bags from Aldi, the beans. I made it in a percolator, and it was okay. I remember saying, yeah, it's good. It's okay. It wasn't exciting. This is exciting. The flavor is amazing. I think it's the cowboy coffee method, because I made 2 cups. The second cup went into a thermal, like a travel mug, which I will probably make like Bulletproof coffee with. My second cup is usually like Bulletproof coffee. Why do I do that? Hold on one second. This is more important. The Bulletproof coffee, I put in butter, 82% fat butter. I don't use the coconut oil like I used to. I put the butter in. I just like it better because I can still taste the coconut. I don't mind coconut, but in the morning I don't want coconut flavor. So I use a tablespoon of butter. I will put a drop of vanilla, 1 drop of vanilla extract in, and then I put in half a teaspoon of chocolate, like pure chocolate, not like hot chocolate mix, but pure high-fat cocoa. I'll put that in there, and a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and just jack it right up. And that literally will be my breakfast, because in the morning I just don't feel like eating. I drink, but I don't want to eat. I'm just not hungry. You get to the point in your life where you eat when you're hungry. You don't eat because it's time to eat. And I think if we followed that, I think we would be much healthier as a nation. You know, it's weird. I made accounts on Gab, Parler, Patreon, Rumble, BitChute, DLive, Minds, Locals, all of that stuff when they all first came out. So when you find me on those other platforms, you'll see that I've been there since May of 2019, and people are like, wow, you've been there that long? Yeah, I usually just jump on, make an account real quick, and then I wait and see. Like the Parler thing, everybody was jumping ship and going to Parler from Twitter. And then they had some problems. And I'm just tired of going to Me Too platforms. And I guess time will tell which platforms are solid. Until then, I am now on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook as the George Bruno Experience, which was named after the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Did that a long time ago. So those are the 3 places, the main places where you can find me. I've been starting to post on Gab, but that gets wonky. I don't know why. There's a lot of traffic there. People say hang in there, be patient, as they increase their servers. Okay. But it got wonky, then I uninstalled it, and then I tried to reinstall it, and guess what? The Play Store doesn't have it. They refused to carry it because it's a free speech platform. What the actual blank is that all about? An apple? What the blank is that about? Come on, that's weird. It's getting weird, and it's going to get weirder. Take my word for it. It's a weird year. 2021 is going to be like a really weird year to watch. It's going to be a freak show. It's going to be a Fellini parade. When you see the stupid shit that's going to get rolled out in 21, I just want you to laugh. Don't freak out like you did in 2020. 2021 is going to be a freak show, and I want you to laugh. What's going to happen is you're just going to see everything go as far left and as far freaky as possible. It's just going to be pushed. So it's not just going to be far left, it's going to be far freak. Just watch. Watch. Is there something interesting or something happening this week? A man with a huge grin approaches a priest. "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I spent the week with 7 beautiful women." "Do not fret, my son," says the priest. "All you need to do is take 7 lemons, squeeze the juice into a glass, and drink the juice." The man says, "Will that cleanse me of my sin?" The priest says, "No, but it'll wipe that stupid smile off your face." It's funny what some young people call life hacks. They're just merely what resourceful people have been doing their entire life. "Look at me, I made a bookshelf out of a pallet, a lamp out of a mason jar, a yarn holder out of a garden rake." So what would you rather have? Some good Polish cooking or a good Polish woman cooking? All right, now it's time for a lesson. I think you need a lesson, don't you? You do. You got beat up. You got knocked out a little bit in 2020. I just want to tell you that failure, your fault or not, is never final. Never final. You might just need a little poke, little shove, little encouragement to get back up and try again. Maybe a little tweak. Maybe get to work a little bit earlier. Maybe it's a little shove. Maybe failure is just like a little shove to work a little bit harder, a little bit smarter. When you see that working smarter will get you further than working harder, ding, there's that light bulb. I should get one of those light bulbs that lights up by itself. You know, it's got a battery in it where I could just put it above my head and have it light up. Ding! The light bulb moment. Working smarter gets you further and makes you more than working harder. Failure, listen to this, failure gives you a chance to study the winner and to see what they have and what made them great. I worked on a very high-paying commercial, literally like a TV commercial. And it was a pharmaceutical commercial. And I auditioned for the main role, which I forget the pay was $40,000, something ridiculous. It was a national commercial. And it was shot for 2 days. I didn't get the main role. I got a supporting role where I ended up being a doctor around a big table while another doctor, like we were all like in white lab coats, while another doctor was teaching something, but his words and his face and close-ups were part of this commercial for a very popular pharmaceutical. This is many years ago. Let's just call the guy Jack, the actor. I won't say his name because you'll know him. Jack gets the job. There was 8 of us guys that auditioned for that role. I think I only had a goatee at the time. I didn't get the role. I was like, crap. You only need a few of those kind of roles mixed in with your other roles. This is back when I was trying my hardest. I know I'm going to hear the Yoda thing from you. You know, do or do not, there is no try. In the acting world, there's a lot of trying and not a lot of doing. I didn't get the role. I was very upset because I was really counting on that. And a $40,000 commercial would have been beautiful. Beautiful. That would have just hit the spot. I didn't get the role. I was very upset. But this is the light bulb moment. What happened? I got to spend 2 days and get paid for it with the guy who got the role. See what I'm talking about? See where this is going? What was it? I got 2 days to discover what was it about him that made him get that role? The $40,000 role. So in between takes, you're having lunch, you're having snacks, you're drinking coffee, you're rolling the lint roller on yourself. The makeup artist is fixing your face and your hair and spraying it, and this kind of thing. Here's the trippy thing. One of the PAs, production assistants, would come into the room, the holding room where everybody was hanging out and drinking coffee and talking. The smaller people were all chit-chatting and having fun and whatever. The smaller actors, the background actors, the people who are the people walking in the commercial or on the sidelines or whatever. There was like 4 or 5 other doctors in white lab coats, and then the main doctor. Jack, who got the role, when the PA would come in and say, okay, 30 minutes until we start shooting again, get yourselves ready, Jack would literally go into the far side of the room, and he would have a piece of paper, and he was going over his lines, and he was speaking his lines, like, just so I could barely hear them, and walking back and forth, closing his eyes, stretching. And then the director said, okay, everybody on their spots. And then we would move into the next room, which was a boardroom, and people were sitting around the boardroom table, and Jack would come in, and he had a special assistant that was lint rolling him and fixing him up and doing the makeup. And it was 2 days of that. What I had the privilege of watching was a pro in action. Watching a guy who acted for a living. I was trying to do it for a living. It ended up being I like to say that it was the brokest 5 years of my life. But it was full-time effort. Let me put it this way. It was full-time effort with a part-time reward. For him, this is what he did for a living. He was landing these kind of jobs all the time that were in the thousands of dollars of pay. He was doing well. Or I should say well for an East Coast person. For a New York person. Which is not a lot compared to what they're getting on the West Coast. Fact. What some people would view as failure. You failed. You didn't get the number 1 spot. But what I got was a front row seat to watch who got the spot and why they got it and what they did. At the end of the 2 days, I thought to myself, now I see why Jack is chosen a lot. His personal habits. He didn't mix with a lot of people. Sometimes he was viewed as being unfriendly or aloof. He was doing his job. Focused. Laser focus. Absolute laser focus. It was amazing watching him. So did I fail? I didn't get the $40,000. But that doesn't mean that I failed. I got a chance to be 3 feet from the guy who got the job and watch him intently in his habits and how he carries himself and how he communicates with other people, including the director. Usually, after a commercial is shot, the director will call the agent or send an email to the agent and tell the agent if they were spot on with that person. Like if they did a good job of recommending that person. Some agents will send, 20 people to the same audition, knowing that only one is going to get it, but they're just throwing crap against the wall, hoping something will stick. They'll send people to auditions who don't even meet the description. That's a desperate agent. A good agent has a intuitive sense for what person will fit that role perfectly. So the director will call or email the agent and say, Jack did a great job. And one of the things they always say is this: he took direction well. Nothing else matters. How he was dressed, makeup, hair, nothing else matters to a director. Do you take direction well? I watched Jack make eye contact with the director, and the director said, I want you to look a little more to the left. I want you to look off into the distance when you're talking. Have a smile come to your face as you're talking, and then come back to the crowd with an intent look. And do something with your hands. And he always did this thing like this. When he was making a point, he would go like that. And Jack had this relationship, instant relationship with the director. And he took direction well. Failure is never final. It's just a little poke to get back up and try again, maybe tweak something, work a little harder, a little bit smarter. It's a chance to study the winner and see what they have and what they did to make them win. If you don't get the number one spot, if you don't succeed at what you have, take a look at the person who did succeed and use the honor and privilege of that front row seat to see what made them superior and why they got chosen and why they won. It's another way to look at failure, isn't it? And I like that way. Finish your coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.